Well, these are all the ingredients for Norwegian pancakes. In Norway it's a dessert, but we often use it as a breakfast or a brunch on holidays. A lot of eggs, a lot of butter, a little bit of cream, vanilla, those become our wet ingredients. And these are the dry ingredients. I'll demonstrate what we do. I prefer to use whole wheat flour. These are 2 cups of flour, and while we're doing the flour, I like to melt the butter. Unlike American pancakes where you butter the pan, the butter is put into the batter, so you don't have to butter the pan with Norwegian pancakes. In order to put the butter into the pan or into the mixture, you have to melt it. So I usually put the pan on low heat and melt 2 sticks of butter at a time. You can put 1 pound to 1.25 pounds, 1.5 pounds to start. So we begin with 2 cups of flour. You choose the flour. It's better not to use self-rising flour. And then you need about 1.5 cups of sugar. Sugar will make the pancakes sweet and they brown nicely. So I mix the dry goods. I do not like lumpy pancakes, and because it basically is a crepe mixture, I add the butter first to the dry goods, and it doesn't hurt to add about a teaspoon of vanilla at the beginning. It'll be mixed. I don't usually measure it, and it's a good idea to add the salt, about 2 or 3 teaspoons of salt. I don't measure, I put it approximately like that. Mix those ingredients together while the butter is melting. As the butter melts, I usually like to put the warm butter into the dry goods. And I found that with this particular pan, it's better not to do more than 2 sticks of butter at a time. I just mix the butter into the dry goods with a large spoon. I use the same spoon to mix and stir as to dip or dispense the batter into the pan later. So I use the same spoon and the same pan to make the pancakes. In doing the eggs, it's important that they not be so cold. So I put 2 or 3 eggs into a small bowl and mix them. Usually with a fork, and then I place them in the microwave for about 15 or 20 seconds. I don't want to cook the eggs, but I want to have a warm batter, not a cold batter. Now, I use a little bit of cream, not a lot, no more than perhaps 1/3 or 1/2 cup. I add it gradually with the eggs, but I don't add any of the eggs or cream until I have all of the butter melted and mixed with the dry goods. Here we have the first 2 sticks of butter and our dry goods, and you should be able to see me mixing those together. My experience is with the warm butter melting and the dry material and the spoon, we usually avoid lumps. I just cut in the oil. Here we see the last 2 sticks of butter melting, and in a little bit we'll have those done. I've already warmed these eggs that you saw a moment ago with the cream. We'll end up using usually 15 to 18 eggs with 1 pound of butter and the amount of dry goods spoken of before to make our batch of pancakes. Now these are very thin pancakes, And so this process takes some time to cook each one. I usually only keep one pan going, but when feeding a large gathering of family with the grandchildren, sometimes I'll try to do 2 pans. But having the right temperature is important, and not overwhelming yourself with the process is important if you want pretty pancakes. Ready? Here we're adding the first eggs. These are 3 eggs that we microwave for 15 to 20 seconds. You can tell if you microwave too long because there'll be a little white of the egg cooked around the edge. And we're adding that to our dry goods with 1 pound of butter. The eggs are very important because they give the batter consistency. So as we do each of the eggs, we probably will put most or all of these eggs in during the process. And by warming the eggs, the batter will be warmer and have a better consistency. So we just fold the eggs in one batch at a time as we warm them so we can start cooking.